Hello, this is my discussion board on cognitive biases. Cognitive biases are systematic patterns of deviation from norm or rationally in judgment. These biases often affect the way we perceive and process information, leading to flawed reasoning or decision making. In this discussion, I will discuss the four key cognitive biases: confirmation bias, anchoring bias, availability heuristic, and self-serving bias, and provide personal examples for each, illustrating how these biases can influence our daily lives. Confirmation bias refers to the tendency to seek out, interpret, and remember information that confirms our pre-existing beliefs, while ignoring or discounting information that contradicts them. This bias can distort our perception of reality and hinder our ability to make objective decisions. For example, when I was studying which phone brand to buy, I firmly believed that the iPhone was the best option on the market. To validate my belief, I actively looked for reviews and articles that praised the iPhone for its features, durability, and performance. I blatantly ignored reviews that pointed out flaws or highlights the advantages of the other brands had. Even when a friend recommended a competing brand with better specifications, I dismissed their advice as irrelevant. Anchoring bias is a tendency to rely too heavily on the first piece of information encountered when making decisions. This initial reference point can significantly influence our judgments, even if it is irrelevant or inaccurate. My example of this is when I was negotiating the price of a used car. The seller initially had $15,000 on the website for the vehicle, which I knew was above market value, despite knowing that the average price for a similar car was $12,000. I found myself satisfied with a price of $13,000 after negotiation. The initial price, or the anchor of $15,000, had skewed my perception of what constituted a fair deal and made me settle for going $1,000 over the price that I knew was fair. The availability heuristic is a mental shortcut that involves estimating the likelihood of an event based on how easily examples of that event come to mind. While this heuristic can be useful for certain situations, it often leads to overestimating the frequency or probability of rare but memorable events. An example from my life involves my fear of flying after seeing plane crashes on the news and on social media. Despite knowing that air travel is statistically one of the safest modes of transportation, the vivid and recent times seeing it on social media of plane crashes made me feel anxious about boarding a plane. The ease of which I recall details of videos that I've seen distorted my perception of the actual risk involved. Self-serving bias is the tendency to attribute our successes to internal factors such as our skills or efforts, while blaming external factors for our failures. This bias helps protect our self-esteem but can prevent us from learning from our mistakes and taking responsibility for our actions. A personal example of self-serving bias occurred during my academic journey. When I got a 100 on the test, I attributed my success to my hard work and good studying. However, when I performed poorly on another test, I blamed the teacher for making the questions too hard and not doing a good enough job of teaching. By attributing success to my internal factors and failure to external ones, I shielded myself from the discomfort of acknowledging my shortcomings. In conclusion, cognitive biases are a natural part of human cognition, but they can lead to flawed reasoning or suboptimal decisions if left unchecked. By understanding the nature of these biases and recognizing their influence on our lives, we can take steps to minimize their impact. Whether it's challenging our own beliefs, questioning initial impressions, relying on objective data, or accepting responsibility for our actions, addressing cognitive biases requires awareness, effort, and a willingness to learn. By doing so, we can improve our decision-making, enhance our relationships, and navigate the complexities of life more effectively. Thank you.